Okay, this is a quick video to show you my platform, my 737 platform. Now, these bits aren't attached to it. It's all going to wobble because I've just put it on there for weight, because otherwise it flies about because it's too light. It's driven by this. There's 3 of these jacks, which are 3-ton jacks, and it's very low to the ground. As you can see, it's only, what, 10 inches? I don't know what that is in millimetres. It's about 10 inches off the ground. And the jacks go up and down. Now, I've taken the centres out of those. I'll put another video on to show how that's done. Taken the centres out. Now, positioning the platform, this beam here, which comes along diagonally, isn't structural. It all moves. And it allows me to slide this up and down, which is the position sensor. Now, I'll put a separate video about that. But as it goes up and down, it pulls that wheel and tells it exactly where it is. The floor is set up with chipboard because it makes everything easier to screw things to and move things about and position everything. And it's sitting on some big timber, so it's got a metal frame which spreads the weight across on the 3 lifting legs, and that's it. Now, everything is very wobbly because it's just sitting on there. Now, and everything's very untidy as well. Now, the whole system here, it's driven by compressed air. It goes, first of all, the compressed air goes into this valve. Now, that's a cutout valve. If anything goes wrong, it lets the air out and it takes the pressure out of the entire system, so there's no danger. Anything at all that triggers any of the sensor switches and it's out of kilter, it decompresses the system. Up here, this board that's flashing takes the information from the computer. Those 3 controllers are actually 20 amp controllers, but it doesn't need that. I'm only using about 5 volts at a fraction of an amp. Reason I'm using all this is because I picked it up cheap at various sales and things, and so I had to cobble it together. Those 3 things there are motorized faders. They go up and down. Now, as they go up and down, each one of those controls the lifting leg. It sends a voltage. It's converted current into voltage by these boards, and it drives these air valves. There's 3 of these air valves. As you see, they're digital. They can be set for any speed or any response time, so I can tailor the entire system. And then I've got all sorts of bits I shoved on it to get voltages right. But anyway, it'll all wobble a bit because I'm going to try and fly this and film it one-handed. Now, I've got no instruments, so basically I'm just going to roll it, take it off and probably crash it. As I start to advance the throttles, you'll see the faders up there move, and they're controlling the air system. Now, if I put the brakes on, you'll see the whole platform tip back. All right, I'm going to accelerate. I'm going to try and film it. As you can see, it's moving a bit. I say, if I brake it again, brake it suddenly, the whole thing tips up and back and down. And it's held in position. There's some chain. I'm trying to film it to show you it's moving about, and it's wobbling because I'm not looking at the screen, and I'm trying to film at the same time. Whoop, it's going up and down. There we go. And you can see the faders are bouncing up and down there, and they're controlling the air valves. You can see it's up and down, it's bouncing down the runway. Actually, I've gone off the runway now because I'm not looking. Never very good. I'll pull back on the yoke and see what happens. But anyway, you can see that's how the platform works. What I'll do is I'll pause it. It doesn't like that very much. As you can see, it's got very low ground clearance. That's the quiet compressor running again. Obviously, once it's in the air, it doesn't use quite so much. Now, the platform is held in position by chains. There's various chains which go across. I've got springs on the other end because obviously the chains aren't long enough. As it goes up, it's not long enough. Just to show you, the floor is incredibly strong. I made the floor a couple of years ago. It hasn't moved or distorted at all. And the floor is made of, I've taken the sections off so you can see, the floor is made of like 5mm plywood, like this, fan strutted, and then it's fiberglassed in. That makes it like a composite. I've tried to keep the thing like a composite, like a real plane. It's the same as these. These are actually timbers, but they're braced like boxes, and then it's got main beams that support the lifting gear are actually aluminium, and that's it. And I think that's all it's got various sensors, you see, on it, which override it if it suddenly crashes or does something terribly wrong, and that's the way it works.